Malami has brought shame and disgrace to the Nigerian government, and he's embarrassing himself. Whose bidding is he doing? Like they always say that a dog that we get lost will never hear the whistle of the hunter, and that is exactly what is happening to Malami. UN had called the Nigerian government to release Nnamdi Kanu because from their own findings, they didn't just come because they want to usurp power. Because the Nigerian government will always say, oh, yes, we are a sovereign country. Nobody has the right to tell us anything. But if they want to borrow money, that is not the language you are going to be hearing from them. Before the UN told them to release Nnamdi Kanu, I'm sure they must have done their investigation. The same thing I've been saying before Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria, was kidnapped to Nigeria, because we can say it with our full mouth, because that is what the court has told us, that he was brought in illegally. He was brought in illegally. So what is our problem? What is their problem? Before the UN government, UN told Nigerian government to release this man, they must have done their own investigation. They've done everything to say, yes, we can see that this man was brought illegally before the Nigerian court now affirm that. Now, international community is going to be sanctioning Malami because even all the lawyers, majority of the lawyers, people who know, have come out to say, no, Malami, what you are trying to twist is not what it is. This is just bad belle. Like I said, a dog that will get lost will not hear the whistle of the hunter. That is exactly what this man is doing. And if you tell me that there's no agenda in this country, especially from this Buhari government, we are just deceiving ourselves. We are deceiving ourselves. Remember the other day, all of them that are doing cho, apart from the so-called Fulanis and some northerners who are not happy. Let us not even say northerners, because those who have been coming out to say, yes, nail him, do this to Nnamdi Kanu, do that to Nnamdi Kanu, they have come out to say, lie, they no go grill, that the court must put the man behind bar. And the court has given their judgment. Even Asari Dokubo, where we don't even know where he come from, they tell us, say he read law for 5 years. Okay, now, you read law for 5 years. Whether you are a lawyer, a certified lawyer, or a judge, to tell us what is not, I don't know where you practice. So majority of them who are against Nnamdi Kanu, after the news broke out that the court has released this man, they came out in their large numbers. They say, lie, they no go agree that the court must do another thing. You can imagine they want the court to do otherwise, because from all indications they have no case against this man. Because I believe, and I've been saying it times without number, this man, you said he jumped bail for how many years he was not in the country. If you are serious about it, it's just for you to reopen the case. I think I was expecting within 1 month that they ought to have even concluded his case, but it dragged for 1 year, and they were adjourning, and you could see that their adjournment is not even making sense. Now the courts of competent jurisdiction has said, release this man. Everybody knows what is obtainable. You say no, the man is not going to be released, that you have other pending case you are going to be bringing. And I remember it was on Thursday that Nnamdi Kanu was released by the court. If you are serious, or if they are serious about it, and if you have other pending cases against him, then you should have gone to court. What Malami is telling us now is that, yes, it was only on the way Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned back to Nigeria that the court vindicated him or discharged him, because he's not telling us there's difference between discharged and acquitted, that he jumped bail. And I remember Abia court, is a federal court in Abia too, has vindicated and set this man free, that the government should pay him. They still refused, but I don't know how they went back again to go and upturn the case. So now it's even telling us, Malami is even making us to understand now that, yes, this man was brought illegally to the country. So what are they going to do about it? And from the court's verdict on Thursday favoring Nnamdi Kanu, I didn't even know whether they talked about how he's going to be paid, because if you take the man back, or he brought him illegally, you are supposed to, and we're hearing that the man was supposed to be taken back to, repatriate him back, or take him back to Kenya that you brought him from. And and you have kept him for 1 year. I didn't hear the court saying that they are going to pay Nnamdi Kanu. They are supposed to pay him. Even if you are going to take him back to Kenya, you are supposed to pay him. But I didn't hear that. I don't know whether you heard that, but I didn't hear that. It was only when they caught the Federal High Court in Abia, discharged and acquitted him and vindicated him. They said he was supposed to be paid. That was the only thing I hear, but they've upturned it in one way or the other. I said even in that case, it was the Nigerian army that was indicted, and the Nigerian army said, "Oh, don't worry. You know what? We want to study the case." And I said, You want to study the case? For them to study the case, they knew quite all right what they did. Malami is telling us that yes, it was only on the way Nnamdi Kanu was brought into Nigeria that the court discharged him, but not what the case of that he jumped bail. He jumped bail, but thank God if you want to do that, but it is just an opportunity for them to drag this whole thing. For how long are you going to do that? Or does it mean that Malami thinks he's going to be there? Or he thinks after he must have left office, he will be left not to answer this question? Yes, maybe that is what he's thinking, but it will be surprise to him that even before he will leave office, because I can't even remember Malami has a immunity. He doesn't have immunity. He doesn't have. I don't think so. So anything can be done to him. So he's going to be sanctioned. So if you think that you have some kind of power, just like the way Buratai, after he did all he did, they just gave him appointment again to be ambassador to Nigeria in Benin Republic. So they are going to face the music as a lot of people who do not have power, but they are crying to God that this injustice must stop. It must stop. Now, if you believe that he has another case, why have you not gone back to the court to go and appeal it? They are not appealing anything, but you just feel that you are not going to release him. The DSS, I don't even know what they are saying. Of course, it is them. The DSS is still under the federal government, still under presidency. All of them are under presidency. So we just thank God, not that thank God a bit, we thank God that even the judiciary is trying to be independent. They are supposed to be fully independent, but most of the time, they always act, in the way of the executive, which is not supposed to be. They are supposed to be separated, the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. And the executives, you have the governors, you have the presidents, the vice presidents, and people in that cadre. While you have the senators under the legislature, you have the lawyers, the judges under the judiciary. They are supposed to be separated, work independently. But that is not what is happening in Nigeria. This executive is just modeling everything up. But at times, the judiciary want to try to just, no, we can't continue like this. Now, with the Senate, the legislature that we have, those ones, they are rubber stamp. Let's even leave that one. Those ones, they will get their own pay in their own way when the time comes. Now, with all the beautiful nonsense they are doing, they are still talking about getting an award for all of them for doing beautiful nonsense. So, Malami, I don't understand what this man is thinking, because that is to tell you that there is an agenda. Because if you always don't want to obey the law, you don't obey the rule of law. Like they always say, when it favors them, they will begin to apply the law. But when it does not favor them, they will begin to look for technicality here and there to justify their wrongdoings. So that is just the way it is. We just know that the enemies are the ones holding Nnamdi Kanu, not the law, not anything. Some of them are saying, oh, well, all those things are just like they always say, they are street talks and ethnic talks, because majority of the people who are against Nnamdi Kanu's release are people from the north. Even this man, like we said, Joe Igbokwena, don't even surrender. Say, I beg, I support it 120% for the court case, for the court to have released Nnamdi Kanu. I just laughed. I say, can you imagine? You don't see, you foresee they follow those your northerners or the Fulanis who are always on the wrong side. So guys, let's hear your opinion and have your take on this. Thank you.